Comeback kings and queens at major international football tournaments. England came from behind to win 3 knockout games at Euro 2024, notes Chris Dibsdall. Are they the first team to do this in a major international tournament? Sunday's Euro 2024 was the irresistible force versus the indestructible object. Eventually Spain broke England, but for a few giddy minutes it looked like England might win Euro 2024 after conceding the first goal in all 4 knockout matches. Instead they had to settle for 3. We've been through every major continental tournament, men's and women's, as well as the World Cup, and we think there are only 2 previous instances of this happening. The first is connected to Gareth Southgate's England. At the 2018 World Cup, Croatia recovered to beat Denmark and Russia on penalties, then nicked football's passport, winning 2-1 after extra time in the semi-final. Like England, Croatia scored an equalizer in the final but went on to lose 4-2 to France. To prove they're the most resilient rascals in the modern game, they came from behind to win 3 more games: Canada in the group stage, Japan and Brazil in the knockouts, at Qatar 2022. That means the only team to win 3 knockout games after going behind and lift the trophy are China at the AFC Women's Asian Cup in 2022. It's a cracking story. China breezed through the group and into the quarterfinals, beating Chinese Taipei 4-0 and Iran 7-0. Then things got interesting. They conceded first to Vietnam in the quarterfinal before recovering to win 3-1. In the semifinal they needed 2 equalizers against Japan, the second in the 119th minute. They didn't even go ahead in the ensuing penalty shootout until the 10th and final kick. The difficulty level rose even further in the final. China trailed 2-0 to South Korea at halftime, and that remained the score halfway through the second half. A penalty from Tang Jiali got them back in it, then Zhang Linyan equalized in the 72nd minute. International football's greatest comeback story was complete when the substitute Xiao Yuya scored the winner in the 3rd minute of added time. A couple of other teams deserve a mention. At this year's AFC Men's Asian Cup, South Korea, managed by Jurgen Klinsmann, came alive in injury time. It started in the group stage, when a 91st-minute own goal by Jordan's Yazin Al-Arab gave them a 2-2 draw. In the final group game, Korea trailed Malaysia 2-1 after 82 minutes. Led 3-2 when Son Heung-min scored a penalty in the 94th, and eventually drew 3-3 after an equalizer in the 15th minute of added time. And that was just the hors d'oeuvre. In the last 16, Cho Gyu-sung scored a 99th-minute equalizer against Saudi Arabia, with South Korea eventually winning on penalties. In the quarters, Wang Hee-chan's 96th-minute equalizer was followed by a winner in extra time from Son. South Korea finally ran out of time in the semifinal, losing 2-0 to Jordan. A word too for Uruguay, who produced probably the most iconic comeback at a major tournament, the Maracanazo in 1950. That World Cup was decided by a second group stage, a round-robin in which Uruguay came from behind each time. They drew 2-2 with Spain, beat Sweden 3-2 after trailing 1-0 and 2-1. And shattered the preordained champions Brazil in what was effectively the World Cup final.